What's up, everybody? It's your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. It's a two for kind of Sunday. I apologize in advance. There may be some background noise. I am not at my usual location, and folks be doing what they do. This is a two-story house, four bedrooms, three bathrooms. Like, it's gonna be noise. So brace yourself. But drop your city and state in the chat. And I want to start this show off with killing the myths of that rich people don't use. Hold on one second. Hold on. Hello. Okay, there we go. We had to just yell for the kids. One good time. You got to just one good time. All right, you guys. So I'm going to start this show off by being petty. That even people who don't like your girl, Erica, give props. Let's go ahead and hear it.
Like I'm a content creator, I'm a course creator. If that's your path, that's something that's a natural proclivity to you, cool. But if you're just gonna do it because Glendon Cameron's doing it and you don't really give a damn about this stuff, they ain't gonna work for you. They ain't gonna work for you. Because once again, I did a video of people copying folks without knowing the secret sauce, without knowing the recipe. Like, take Ericka Williams. Ericka Williams used to be a student of mine, and she's charted her own course. She got houses, she got trucks. She's charted her own path. She didn't do it Glendon Cameron. She did an Ericka Williams. You need to do an Ericka Williams. You need to chart your own path and get you some damn money. Because sooner or later, the reality of where you are in these United States of America are going to catch up with you.
I had to set it off one time for the petty, okay? Now y'all gonna be like, now Erica, that's petty, girl. You ain't gotta be petty like that. But I do have to be that petty, okay? So whenever anybody says something crazy about me, I just always go back to the tape. Just go back to the tape. What do people say about you when they not in they salty mind, they petty mind? You dig what I'm saying? So what's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Today we are killing. We're killing the sacred cows of what? The rich don't use credit, Erica. All the wealthy people I know don't use credit. And I can just pull just report after report after report, article after article, where people actually have uh literally showing you ways they've documented themselves of using credit to get wealthy. Now let's go ahead and take out the number one elephant in the room, Elon Musk. People are like, man, Elon Musk has so much money, he could just buy Twitter right out. But did you just see where Vanguard and another company said they'll 100% fund Elon Musk? Not 99%, not 70%, not 50%, 100% fund Elon Musk purchasing this so he doesn't have to come out his pocket any money. Isn't that interesting? Not Elon Musk as rich as he is. Come on now, y'all, right? So then let's go to the next one. I got another example I want to bring up because I think it's important for me to bring facts and data. And some of y'all getting your little feelings and you want to say, well, you're just making it up. No, baby, we're not. So let's do another one. Let's pull up what's his name? Hold on a second. We'll go ahead and pull it up. Uh-oh, sorry you guys. Let's try that again. We will go ahead and pull up this one because people don't understand how banking and financing and things work, and we just want to explain it to them. Okay, let's go to here. Let's go with this guy. This is Sam Faster Freedom. This is Sam John Prinn. He has a lot of pages that copy him, but this is his only account. Now he's going to show you how he owns 32 million in rentals with none of his own money. Now you're going to say, no, Erica, that's just not possible. Right? How did he buy 42 houses all in the same neighborhood? How he bought $4 million in real estate? How all this stuff comes from where? Other people's money. Didn't Robert Kiyosaki write a whole book called I'm gonna go there, Rich Dad Poor Dad, but Cashflow Contract is the better book. But he always talks about other people's money. Now, a lot of times when you watch these things, people say these rich people I know don't talk about credit like that. They don't have to. They've already made it. 9 times out of 10, when you're talking to somebody who's already made it, they don't talk about credit in the terms we weigh. Now, every time there's a trucking company that closed, I post online in the community chat why the trucking company closed. The bank probably called their lines of credit. Oh, Erica, you don't know what you're talking about. They just didn't run the company right. They were embezzling. No. Payroll at these large companies are run on credit. Expenses are run on credit. There's a whole category called vendor credit. Like I don't know why y'all keep playing these games like y'all don't understand these concepts, and some of you may not genuinely understand it. But how did this guy right here buy $33 million in real estate? Credit. And not just credit, other people's money. Right? 92 single family rentals. How is that possible? 6 apartment complexes, 3 self-storage facilities, right? Let's just go there. Credit, y'all. Now, so when people sit here and let's play devil's advocate. Erica, why are you always advocating for people to buy their own home and start their own business? People don't want to do that. I am telling you, I am showing you repeatedly in the comments in the community section, there's a shaking going on in our economy. There's a shaking going on in our world and how things are done. And if you're a person, and I really mean this, if you're like, I'm anti-marriage, I'm anti this, I'm anti-buy a house, honey, like good, go get off the internet. Like we don't need that voice. And I'm being really honest. I'm not want to be ugly. Like Diamond Dave did a great segment, and I shared in the community tab about where the stratification is coming. I mean, I really want to write a book called The Great Separation because it's happening. What's happening is people who are productive, people who are married, people who are productively married. Because let's be very clear, there's a lot of poor people who jump up and get married just because they think it's going, it's going to work, whatever. It's called authoritative mating. No matter how many people online try to convince you that you're gonna be 69 years old with a 19-year-old, that ain't happening. It's not realistic. Unless she is you smuggled her in. Okay. So listen, you sit here and you talk to people about Erica, there's no way these people can own all these properties. Listen, USDA loans, no money down. VA loans, no money down. These people are buying places year or two or move further out and buy another place. They're increasing their wealth that way. Something just got passed in Atlanta that I literally called it the closing of Atlanta because now you can't own more than 2 Airbnb properties. One of them has to be your house, and the other one you have to have a permit for. This is the hotel lobbies fighting back against people earning income. You see these people with 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 Airbnb rentals? The reason I'm pushing back against the short-term rental pushback is because if it starts there, guess where they're going to go next? Well, this guy can't own 92 single family homes. You can't own but one apartment complex. Look what's happening in LA. I think what's happening in LA is strategic, systematic. LA, 85% of LA's multifamily properties are owned by independent small mom and pop owners. It's like the weirdest collection in the world. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger, if you actually read the book on Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was a millionaire in real estate in California in the Venice Beach in the South LA area before he took off his biggest acting career, right? Because he started breaking his back with construction, moving stuff. Him and his friends were big, muscular guys, so they would get moving jobs and create moving companies. See the wording? They didn't just go look for work, they started companies and would move stuff and then would take that money, one, to live and so they could do their competitions, and two, to buy real estate. Once the immigrant people in LA told Arnold, you need to own real estate so then you can rent out all the other properties or units and you can afford to do your bodybuilding. See, everybody else knows the blueprint. We're the only group of people sitting here talking about, I don't want to do the blueprint. I don't like the blueprint. These modern women won't follow the blueprint. I don't want to work that hard. I need 50-50. We're doing everything but the blueprint. So you can go find this guy and listen. He's worth 19 million in debt. This is something Dave Ramsey goes, "Oh my god." But I want you to understand what's happening. There's going to be two sets of folks. I'm being really clear. You're gonna have a there's a reason Dave Ramsey is gonna become a billionaire, and there's gonna be a reason why Grant Cardone becomes a billionaire. Because people can clearly see, okay, debt free, it does work. I'm not gonna say it's not a bad position. It's not a bad position. The millionaire next door, all this stuff is not a bad position. If you have bad money habits, you can't control yourself. Being debt free is the best, right? Having a car with no payments saves you 500 to 1,200 a month, right? If you're bad with money, that saves you money. But ultimately, at the end of the day, when you hear all these people talking about generational wealth, if you're not married and you don't have no kids, what generational wealth are you talking about? Well, as much as I love my nephews and I give them money, that wouldn't be, I mean, that's generational, but generation legacy starts with that person, right? Aaron Clary just did a video the other day talking about if you're going to stay single, you're not going to get married, and you're not going to do anything. Why work hard? Go travel. Go goof off. You're not trying to do anything. You're not trying to build anything. Why go work a lot of jobs or make a lot of money? And that's the mantra of a lot of these folks. 43% of all 43% of all black people make $30,000 a year or less. So no matter what you try to tell me on these chats, on these worlds, on these internets, on these webs, 43% making 30 grand or less. So when I bring on people talking about tech, talking about jobs, talking about freedom, you can't argue me down with these fake facts because I know it's not true. Now I'm showing Grant Cardone's capital. I don't want to argue, y'all. I understand that he is charging crazy, astronomical rates. Please don't. I know someone's gonna say, "Well, he's charging too many rates." I know. I know. There's 100 people here. I'm not gonna fight with you. I've read the contract. If you print out the contract to invest with him and you read it, it's the highest fees across the nation. There's almost no other capital company with that much fees. Okay, so we know that. This is no slander. I think what he does is what he does. But what he's doing is buying all these assets. Eventually, they're gonna bundle them up and do what? Sell them to a BlackRock, sell them to one of these companies, sell them to one of these what? Pension funds who need what? 4 or 5% returns to make the pensions work. But if you're giving them something that makes 10, 12% returns, 15% returns, 20% returns, the pension fund looks like a genius. Do you understand? Okay. So again, just giving you an example of how that works and where all these investors in the marketplace. So again, I think Tam comes on and she talks about one of the reasons she says you want to make a higher income so you can become an accredited investor to have other opportunities to invest. Because when you're an unaccredited investor, your investment options are very much limited or they're just different. Right? I could even show you Lane Kowalski on here in a little bit. Um, let me see. Thank you for putting your city and state in the chat, y'all. It's 105 people here. Congratulations, Stacy. They do. Exactly. Keep their margins and so this is something I try to educate you guys on. When you start a business, which again, I think, and this is something Todd Billy said, and I agree. When Donald Trump was in office and a couple years ago, it was super popular to have a business. Now we're kind of segueing to, yeah, you should get a high paying job. I'm not against jobs. But if you pay attention to what the immigrant community is doing when they come here, they literally get a high paying job and they quickly run to their fastest bank to get an LLC and start a business or a C Corp and just start a business. They really don't sit here and go, I want them businesses. Like that's literally the mantra. They come here and realize America's so easy. We have people who are natural born citizens here who are fighting they're counterculture. They're literally just being the counterculture where reading books, learning, educating yourself, having a high paying job, investing the 20% of that money, buying a home. They're like, no, I want to live in a van and have no job and eat sandwiches down by the river. Like, I mean, like this basically what we're coming across. So this whole mantra, the rich don't do all this credit stuff. You literally had the dude from Catch Me If You Can, a well-known criminal thief, playing thief. He stole a pilot once, telling you that's all he uses is credit card. He doesn't use a debit card because of how we have skimming. I've done videos on how bad the skimming is, how bad all this stuff is going on. Right? If you're a business owner and every business has seasons where stuff is tough, credit is important. Right. So I was sharing a thing on Instagram and somebody was saying, it was like your driver calls you and tells you something wrong with the truck. Every time I post that post, no matter what it is, something regards of the owner saying the employee's complaining, there's always at least 10 black men in my chat going, well, these owners need to take care of these trucks. Y'all, you can have a brand new truck and put it on the road and something will go wrong with it. A person will wreck it. A person will hit something. They'll do something. These are vehicles, large vehicles. And so this mindset of a victim, which that's what a lot of sometimes these drivers pretend to be victims. I'm driving this truck and it's raggedy. So it's a brand new truck, came off the lot and it's completely a lemon. Really? It's a victim mentality. So again, as a business owner, you need to have lines of credit. So when you're dealing with people who, oh, the heat ain't working, the garbage disposal ain't working, this ain't working, that ain't working, whether it's real estate, trucking, whether it's any kind of business. Look, even the peer space that's just growing right now. Andre Hayes that came on the channel, he talks about his peer space course, right? Even those people are going to have challenges where people use the space for 2 or 3 hours and damage it. Darius Cooks, the reason people are so upset is he's been going to people's houses using Airbnb and VRBO, and then having, industrial sized cooking equipment and burning out the sockets. So now you're a homeowner and you got to do what? Repair everything. Put $10,000 electrical in your house. Fix broken sockets. These are things where people are sitting here in denial, telling you, "Oh, they don't use credit." If you look at LA, where 85% of the multifamily owners and apartment complex owners are independent mom and pop shops, they are probably the 1%, because it's a very small percent, that cashed out, refinanced their properties in LA and probably invested in other markets. Why? Because LA is literally telling them, yeah, we might not make people pay rent to 2025 if we want. This is someone trying to break the wheel of this country. There isn't really any other country you can go to and have credit in 90 days. There isn't. Go to Africa and try this stuff. Go to Zanzibar and tell them you want to do something on credit. They looking at you crazy. It's pay out of pocket. It's cash as you go. Go to Belize. Look at these countries. They're sitting bricks in their front yard until it's time for them to build the house, until they buy enough bricks. You're in one of the easiest financially countries in the world. Hong Kong was number 2 until they did what? Britain gave it back to China. They had it for 99 years and they gave it back. And you see what turmoil those people are in right now, because they experienced true freedom, true capitalism. And China was like, oh no, we'll come through this mug and beat everybody's legs. So again, there you go. He doesn't. He really doesn't. The Instagram account is Sam's Faster Freedom. Yeah, I mean they do it for all of it. I'm on Biz 5 and I self-fund it all. In the last couple of years, I focused on funding, and while my life changed for the better, I'm telling you, the poor see credit as a bragging right. The wealthy see credit as a tool. So, prime example, in one of the Facebook groups, I'm not going to show that Facebook group because I don't want to get in trouble. You'll see every day people in there bragging about how they got an 800 credit score. You put in the comment, what are you going to do with it? And you will get cussed out. How dare you ask me what I'm going to do with this 800 credit score? That's none of your business. Well, you shared it on here. I'm just asking you, what's the game plan? And then you see people every week with, oh, I got a new car. I got a new Mercedes Benz. You driving your new Mercedes Benz to do what? Drive to a job that pays you $30K a year? Y'all, this math ain't mathing. Literally. Exactly. There you go. Life will always happen. It really is. Broderick, that's fine. Be contrarian, but go do it on your own channel. Right? Like I've already told y'all, if you're a man in this country, I mean, there's literally a dude who made a book on being homeless and then from homeless to owning his apartment. I literally believe, call it sexist, call it whatever. If you're a man, you could go from $0 to $1 million in 3 years, depending on your drive, your hustle, and the vehicle you use to get there. It's literally a stacking method. That's all. But, people out here are trying to make it some kind of unicorn. You got to have all your ducks lined up in a row, and it's really just math. And people in this country really hate math. Let me see if I find this other one I want to show y'all. Let me see here. Let me see. I'll use O'Neill. O'Neill, if you're actually in the rise of 20%, O'Neill Parker came on and talked about credit and talked about real estate and came on for one other thing. And if he's also in the middleman to millions, where he talks about his roofing business. Okay. I know. It's really crazy. People get obsessed with it, obsessed with the Dave Ramsey. And even if you go on Dave Ramsey, you listen to most of his guests make 70 to 120,000 a year plus, or are business owners. I mean, that get in a bad pickle. So this is O'Neill. If you're in any of my classes, you've seen him talk about it. Let me see if I find that thing. Um, I think he bought a house at 23 years old in Louisiana, where houses are like $40,000. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Louisiana, no disrespect, but I don't know where the post is at. But literally, if you talk to some of these people, they think, well, if I buy a house, I'm stuck with the house. But you're not. You can turn around, you can sell it. Yeah, I don't see it on here. Just tell O'Neill Erica sent you over there if you find it. But what you realize is like it's literally a decision. He literally left from his parents' house, never got an apartment, went and bought a house. Period. Like, period. Go check it out. Go check out his story. He's been on several of our channel and courses. But part of what I want you to understand is this is something we love this story. Now I'm gonna give you guys some information about new construction to give you an example. So I'm going into new construction, and I said, okay, well, if I gotta use credit cards, how much I gotta scramble and get these credit cards to do? Okay, I gotta buy the land. Okay, I gotta get the framing, the foundation, do that first round, and then I can run to a hard money lender. Well, there's a company called me and said, hey, there's several companies called me. Hey, we'll help you buy the land. We'll do all the construction 100% funded. You just got to pay the interest. And I said, okay, cool, cool, cool. Do you have any experiences? I said, no, this is like my first new construction. They're like, well, just go get the GC to partner with you on a separate LLC, and we'll get funded. We'll get it started next week. Now, first thing in my head is like, wow, that's quick. Well, once you start getting into construction, um, new construction, multifamily construction, commercial lending, it's very different, right? Even with truck financing, it was very difficult to get in. It was like 13% interest on trucks. It was like all this crazy numbers that you're like, that doesn't make any sense. But it's the vehicle. Again, remember, whichever vehicle you're running into, it changes your perspective. So now I go, wait a minute. I see why people don't get in. How many people know a GC, a licensed GC with experience? And the first thing out of his mouth was like, well, once you get 4 or 5 under your belt, we'll approve you for whatever you want. On and on and on. So think about that. As a woman, as a minority woman, I have to go find a GC department. Now, you already know the deal. You already know why I'm partnering in Florida. You already can see the writing on the wall. It's a man who's done it multiple times. It beats all qualifications. Don't have to pay no money out of pocket, just paying for interest. But think about the barrier there. Imagine you were a young man, don't know nobody, don't know any construction workers, don't know anybody with experience. You'd be running around trying to do what? Get credit cards. Get the financing to do what? Buy the land. Then from buy the land to get that first level done. I just want you to understand that businesses run on credit and they run on partnerships. That this whole mantra that the wealthy don't work for money. Yes, if you read the Robert Kiyosaki book, they don't work for money, but they do work in positions to do what? Get partnerships, get knowledge, get experience. Once you do 2 or 3 houses with this person, any other smaller bank will work with you. But if you want that 100% no money down, which is very attractive people, just pay the interest till the project's done, comes with what? Partnerships, comes with experience. So the barriers that people are talking about, oh no, rich people don't use credit. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't a guy who's been building stuff, construction jobs with no money down and it pay for the land and it pay for the deal actually do it? See, this is where the math gets silly. And you can hear people on the internet saying stuff they don't know anything about. What's going to happen is you see these houses that are 250 to 475 and people are like the houses need to get back to realistic prices. What you meant is these houses need to get back to affordability for somebody making 30,000 a year. And that's only happening in rural areas and in the South. That's only happening when you buy the land and build it yourself. I literally drove by a eightplex. It was like a 4 on one side townhouses and 4 townhouses on the other. I took a video of it. And I looked at that area. I said people love living by there because it's close to a very established neighborhood, old money neighborhood. But they're not going to go buy this old 1920 house and fix it when they can buy this land lot or a couple of them in this one corner and build up what? New construction. The math is there, right? So part of why I want y'all to break y'all out of this mindset of like, hey, I'm gonna get this shell corporation and I'm gonna get all this funding, and but what are you gonna do with it long term? This whole thing, rich don't use credit. That's insane what you're saying. You're in a country that's built off credit. Literally, Abraham Lincoln paid slave owners for what? Losing their property. Think about that. And taxed you to it. You know what I'm saying? So I want people to understand, like, even the conversation of when you put $100 in the bank and the bank loans it out 10 times. Like, this whole system is run off credit. This whole system. So people say, well, if there's a crash or a restructure, everybody that's rich gonna lose everything. But they won't. They'll be sitting here sitting on 100 units, 100 properties, sitting on here on 100 something. Even if the rent has, even if let's say everything, oh, it's a massive crash, and people can only pay $400 a month for rent. A person with 100 units is gonna get what? 100 times 400. Do you see what I'm saying? Like the concept of what you guys are saying is so insane. And the reason I'm bringing this up is I see what's happening. We are being America is a machine, and it's a beautiful machine. And you can take 20K and go start. I mean, you could take $500 out your pocket. There's a reason I brought the guys on for that had the handyman businesses earlier today, just to show you how cheap it is to run some of these companies. There's no reason for somebody to be like, I can't find no work. Baby, can you fix things? Can you pay $80 a month for insurance? Hit the road running. Get to marketing. It's really what it's about. Let me see. It really is. I mean, I just wonder where people's minds are. So let me see if I got this other screen I want to pull up with you guys. I'm gonna give you a little TV break while I'm here real quick. While I'm looking for this number. Hey. See if I can find it real quick. Y'all look at some video while I'm waiting. Hold on. All right. Okay. So we back. We back. Yeah, that's Zanzibar. So let me go ahead and share the screen here. This is a great page. I want you to go look it up and go find it. Okay. Um, private money and hard money, although sometimes used interchangeably, are not the same. This is something you will learn really well. Why is Grant Cardone running around raising all that money? Why are a majority of these capital companies running around raising money? Again, private money, much different than hard money. Hard money, you're gonna pay some lumps and you're gonna pay some points. You can definitely find out about it. Let me see. You have another one here because I want you guys to really check it out. Uh, Here it is. This is the one I want to tell y'all. This is why I was saying Atlanta's closed. Atlanta, you can only have 2 Airbnbs and one must be your primary resident. You need a permit, 150 each. You must inform your neighbors. Let me tell you again. Like, you must inform your neighbors as it impacts them as well. You must be a resident of Atlanta. As Maretta said, College Park is not Atlanta. Let's go on to the next one. How will this be enforced? An 8% hotel motel tax. A permit number must be on listings. Retroactive for all listings. See, they're not even grandfathering you in. Must provide proof of property ownership or tenancy for permit. If you get 3 violations, $500 each, your permit will be revoked for a year. Think about that, y'all. How quickly will that affect so many people in Atlanta? Huh? How many people would that affect in Atlanta, y'all? Think about it. How fun is Atlanta about to not be? I just want y'all to understand when we figure out the code, when we figure out the lane on some of this stuff, they gonna lock it down. So now what's gonna happen? Some of these people gonna have to turn around and become a what? A property owner in Atlanta to continue their business. They're gonna have to be fighting court. They're gonna do several things to do what? To keep that cash flow going. Who is pushing against this? The hotel industry. Their lobbyists are fighting this issue. That's the truth. Roderick Brown is spot on. Who can enforce it? Trust me, in Atlanta, we could hire enough black women in their 40s to enforce this. I'm not picking. I'm just being saying. Have you ever been to the post office? You ever been to some of these places with security? They'll find some people. I assure you. It's a deterrent if you get 3 violations and you're knocked off for a year, right? So I wonder, does this, of course, this applies just to VRBO. This applies to all of them. But again, this is where you're telling people who own their property privately what they can do with it. I am not a fan of that. I am not a fan of that. That is infringing on property rights. Now, here's where people are going to hit you. They're going to say, well, these people are, they don't own these properties, Erica, so it doesn't matter. If you're renting and you're paying your rent, you have property rights. Not as much as the owner, but you do have property rights. So again, I like this saying, please stop waiting on a crash. I want y'all to understand, when you go to Europe, if you guys ever look up real estate in France and real estate in Europe and Spain, parts of Spain, $1 million is the starting mark. And I know that sounds crazy to y'all, right? It sounds crazy to somebody who's lived in the South and you think land is cheap and America has plenty of land. But if you really go look at other countries, if you actually go look at other countries, it starts at $1 million. So when people in America are complaining about 50K houses, 150K houses, and people from other countries are like, that's a steal. It just is. It's a steal. Okay. So let me pull this off real quick. Do y'all have questions for what I'm talking about today? Like, feel free to ask some questions in the chat. I just want y'all to really get rid of this. Just I want y'all to really come in and talk. Okay, right? We want y'all to come in and understand the concept because I know it can be a lot of information to absorb on this channel. Anybody have any questions? Drop them in the chat. Um, and I want you to understand where that comes from. I'm trying to find this SBA thing showing y'all about the people who are getting the loans, SBA loans. I thought I had it already pulled up, but I was wrong. Now you better stop playing. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here's 2 of them. Let me see if I can pull it up because I know people are like, "Oh, Eric, everybody don't want to be a business owner." I'm just telling you, people come to this country, they're not playing like y'all playing. Let me see. I'm gonna show you this one, and I'm gonna show you the other one. Boom. Okay. Screen's not even sharing. Lord Jesus, let me get it together. Okay, can you see this here? Non-US citizens SBA lending. Almost 25% of new businesses started in the United States each year are launched by first-generation immigrants. In the United States, with higher populations such as New York and California, the percentage of new businesses by immigrants is 40%. Let me say that again. Let me read that first line again. I just want to make sure y'all hear me now. Almost 25%. That means 1 out of every 4 businesses starting in the United States are started by first generation immigrants. In states with higher populations such as New York and California, and they leaving off Texas, but I promise you Texas should be in here. The number is 40%. So that means what? If there's 4 businesses that open, 2 out of those 4 open by what? Immigrants versus native born. This isn't even on loans. We're not even talking about the loans yet. We're talking about opening. We're not even talking about loans. We're talking about the opening per year. Okay? I want you to understand this. I tell you all the time, what are the immigrants doing when they come here? And I ain't talking about the crime. I ain't talking about the drugs. I ain't talking about the massage parlors. I'm just talking about in general. SBA guaranteed lending can provide financial assistance to businesses that are at least 51% controlled and owned by a person who is not a U.S. citizen. Let me say that again, y'all. I want y'all to understand what's happening. You can come to America, not even be a citizen, and get an SBA loan. Do you hear what I just said? Does that make put a one in the comments if you understand what's happening right now? I can come here fresh from Lebanon, fresh from Egypt, fresh from Bangladesh, fresh from India, fresh from wherever. Got my HB1 visa, working here, my visa, and do what? Open a business and get funding. That's why I told y'all when I was in. What's wrong? Hold on, y'all. 1 second. Okay, sorry. Let me finish what I had to say. There's 253 people here. Let me just. I want to make sure everybody. You can't be fresh from Russia no more. No, 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 not Russia. But I just want you to understand what's happening. You can come here fresh. Stop. You can come here fresh from another country, and even if you're here, okay, you can literally be 51% owner. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? At least, right? Like, because you coming here fresh, no credit, no all that stuff, and open a business and have appropriate work visa. There you go. The process is straightforward, but the extra documentation requirements may seem daunting. This is why when Houston, Texas, when the ICE said they're gonna come through and round up people in Houston, the city councilman that was over the Asian side of town got on TV crying, "No, please, these good, hardworking, foreign, illegal business owners will not be rounded up." See, he didn't come out there and go, "Hey man, stop harassing these young black men driving in cars. Stop harassing these people and patting them down and swiffing them and all this stuff." He didn't say that. He said, "You gonna stop messing with these foreign, non-American citizens that own businesses. You're gonna stop. You know why? Because they're business owners and they're landowners." Do y'all understand what's happening right now? Do you understand? There's a massive shift going on. Okay. Second part in Houston. Fifth and third ward, 85% of the homes are owned by five families. Say that again. 85% of the neighborhood rentals over there are owned by five families. You think the city gonna come in there and say, "Listen, y'all can't own all these houses like this"? No. Because those five families are what? Three of them are Jewish and the other two are Italian. And when Chris Senegal and other people started coming over there in Fifth Ward because they were black and buying up properties and building over there, they were like, "Who are you? Who are you?" Okay. Let's not get it twisted. Let me keep going. Okay. So anyway, that's all I want to read on that really. I just want to let me go to this next one. This is Camo Financial. This is the best small loans for immigrants in the United States, plus grants. This company has made itself do what? Operate for only who? Immigrants. If you're in my channel and you're watching this channel, I have a Hispanic and Asian population that watches this channel. There's no disrespect ever on here. You know what I'm talking about. You know who you are. This is loans for immigrants. You can get a loan. You can get business grants too. Let me just go and read this number to you again. Okay, read this number to you again. These are some other numbers. Just throw this number in the pot. New American Economy found out in 2017, 3.2 million immigrants ran their own businesses. That means one in every five entrepreneurs in the country. Let me say that again. 3.2 million immigrants ran their own businesses. One in every five entrepreneurs in the country. Plus, according to the American Society Council of Americans and the Fiscal Policy Institute, that's government. That's not just me and you making it up. That's government. Between 2000 and 2013, immigrants accounted for 48% of growth in U.S. business ownership. So let's break it down for a second. Let's do some math. If 1 in 10 Asians own a business, 1 in 34 whites own a business, 1 in 54 Hispanics own a business, and 1 in 108 blacks own a business. You do the math in there. So if they open it up 50%, if they are coming here fresh off the boat, ready to go, all I gotta do is fill out this piece of paper and go open a business bank account. Cool. And they're almost 50%. When you saw the PPP come out and there were average companies were getting 100 to 150 to 350,000, you think they were tricking it off? You think they were getting Lambos and Ferrari? Nah, man. They're bringing more family in. They're buying up rental properties. See, people got the PPP 20K and thought they was doing something. But when you really look at the numbers, we went over that website here on this channel. We went through it because it's public, not public information. The average company got 150 to 350,000. I know 2 companies personally that got 350 on 4 different companies all at the same time. Now I don't know. I ain't saying their paperwork was lying. I ain't saying that. That's not what I'm saying. Uncle Sam watching this. I ain't say that. But you can see how drastically their business changed over the next 6 months. They did nothing but run ads. And you can see the channel, you can see the companies and the people who ran ads and took that money and put it somewhere. Put it in more investments and more properties. Right? When you saw all these people taking all these trips, your 20K PPP loan sent you to Miami 4 times. They PPP loan sent them all over the world. Okay? So I just want to read those data and numbers. That's why when people are like, they're bringing crime, they're bringing drugs. A certain segment of them, sure, but a lot of them starting businesses. So what's going on down here? Again, this goes over business terms: equipment loans, right? SBA business loans. I already told you about that. Personal loans, merchant cash advances are terrible, but it is what it is. Business credit cards. You can get credit cards with no social. Capital One, Discovery, US Bank, and Open Sky, which are terrible. Online lenders, credit unions. So let's have a conversation, okay? Because look, you see right here, they Camo is gonna help you get anywhere from 5,000 to 400,000. Other small banks are gonna get you 5,000 to half a million. Merchant Cash Advance is gonna get you 2,500 to 250,000. You gotta be really running numbers to your company for that. Line of credit gonna get you 10K to 100K. SBA loan will get you half a million to 5 million. And these are people who just came here. I want you to understand when you sit here and go, I ain't starting no business. I just want a good job and I want to sit on my porch and chew tobacco and fart and whatever. I just want you to understand, like, do you want to prosper in this country? Do you? Nah, man, I'm going to Africa. You going to Africa? Well, what money? Well, what money? Even over there, it's going to require you to have money. Even in Zanzibar, there were hotels you can spend it for $30 a night, but it was sketchy. Hotels you can stay at for $60 a night on the beach. They were good. They were decent. I mean, it's not, security ain't good enough for me. Places we stayed at were close to 100. Close, not all the way, but close. And they got a security gate on that bad boy. Eric, I'm gonna go to Mexico. Cool. You gonna go to Mexico? Where you gonna live? Without any credit? So again, I just wanna break this mindset that rich people don't care about credit, Erica. They don't care about credit. If I'm showing you that majority of the business ownership in America is immigrant and they get here and they are getting loans and they are starting businesses, and you in America with no job telling me I don't know what I'm talking about, and that you don't want a bunch of credit because you want to be debt free and stuff. You know what I mean? You a minimalist. Are you a minimalist by choice, or are you a minimalist because you ain't got no money? I want you to even look at this. For refugees, there's rural business development, right? I started noticing that Indian families would go in the middle of nowhere, Minnesota, lake hunting places, really far away spots that are cold in the winter, and they would buy these little hotels. And I was like, who's affording that? Rural business development grants. That's who. So they said, hey, what if I was a regular person? Can I come here? No, we only work with immigrants. This company has made their whole bones off working with immigrants. Okay. So I just want to show you that. I want y'all to hear these numbers because I don't think y'all really understand what's happening in front of us. Let me go to the next one. Okay. Let me read some of y'all stuff real quick before I go to the next one. The wealthy want this is why the wealthy suburbs want to leave ATL crime, taxes, silly regulations. Yeah, silly regulations. Yeah, the hotel lobbies are not playing. They just not. Yeah, John, we'll have some I'm gonna see if Andy will come in here and we'll do a if I get to a Florida, we'll do a private video and then I'll put it only for the members only in here and then also for it'll just be private. I lived in France. You can forget ownership. Most people I know rent. Thank you, Mark D. I keep telling people that if you actually look at when they had some really high Muslim immigration to France, and there was a Jewish man that was kidnapped and tortured for days and then killed. Uh, it was a couple of series of those things happening that were really awful to Jewish people. And like an older Jewish woman got killed, and they were like, "Man, she survived Auschwitz, but didn't survive her Muslim neighbors." And this is no slang to Muslims, but just as what's what happening in France, they saw this massive sell off of thousands of units they'd never seen before in France, and they were like, "Why is all this real estate coming on the market?" And then finally, it was on the news. The guy was saying because Jewish people are leaving. They're leaving France. They're leaving. They're going back to Israel. They're investing in other countries in the UE because of the policies where they were not feeling protected in France. And people were like, these buildings are $1 million. And I'm talking about some of the buildings were raggedy. But it was so rare for them to be on sale in these countries. That's why I'm telling you, when you go to London, they showed this house that this woman bought for $1 million. It was trash. It was old. It was 1900s. It was trash. She had to put like I think like $500,000 in it to fix it, and it was already $1 million. So when people talk about America, it's so expensive, Erica. I bought this house for 50,000. I had to put work into it. No shit. Thank you for supporting the channel. Well, Mark D, hey. For personal reason, do you believe? I believe if you have no discipline, you need Dave Ramsey. I believe there are a lot of people who came out here. Parents didn't really help them. They didn't know no better. They got student loan debt. They got car debt, and then all of a sudden they realized, like, oh my god, like I'm gonna have to work forever if I don't get a plan in place. So I think that works. But if you really think about $1,000, like if 70% of Americans can't pull $1,000 in the time of a crisis, it's good to have $1,000. But let's do the math. Let's say you have an apartment and let's even say you got roommates and your portion of the rent is 800. Your portion of the light bills and everything else is 200. So let's say it's 1,000. Just right off the top, 1,000. Let's say your car insurance, all this other stuff is 1,200. So now you're at 1,200. Let's say your student loans are $350 payment a month. How much is that, y'all? I think we're at what, 1,700. So 1,700 times 6 months is what, y'all? Let's do the math. Let's get out the calculators. Hold on, I'm gonna get out a calculator real quick for y'all. Hate doing everything off the head. 1,700 times 6 months is $10,020 you need to have saved just to have 6 months of an emergency fund. So you need to save $27 a day per year just to have a 6 month emergency fund. What could be a stopgap, do you think, in that? What do you think? Credit. Oh, a credit card that you don't use. Or what? A credit somewhere or a line of credit? We have a system that really works well for us. So, do I believe in baby steps? For sure. But at the end of the day, being debt free is a great position to be in, but you still gonna need to what? Have some ownership in a country where ownership is the key. You could do Jason Bourne. Usually Anthony Russell, I think it's at, book an appointment, book a call with me, but we'll kind of overly talk about it. It's like 600 credit score. Because this is I want y'all to understand, and I'm gonna be careful here. If you actually read some of the documentation of business loans for business owners, a lot of it's like 500, 550 credit score, 600. When the ELDO loan came out and required you have a 650 credit score, and then the government realized all these people wouldn't apply for the ELD loan because they didn't have it. Think about that. You had millions of business owners who didn't apply for the ELD loan because they didn't have the credit score. So the government was like, "Hey, what's the problem? Why we ain't getting enough people to EIDL?" They're like, "Hey, man, the score's too high. Got to bring it down. The score's too high." Think about that. These are business owners with businesses running cash flow, running credit. They didn't even have those scores. So again, a lot of the stuff when you actually dig behind the table, it's like 600 credit score is the nose, zero net worth, zero reserves. Your deal is that land and that new construction and your partnership with somebody with experience. You got to understand this is it's a whole different level. What to do with all the equity in these homes? Use it to buy something else, another market. I will never agree. You can't time the market, y'all. This obsession with timing the market, you can never time the market. There are some, I think Asia Selden said she stopped buying homes in 2018 because she thought it was going to crash in 6 months. 2018 to now is how many years, y'all? There are people who said they stopped buying in 2017 because they thought it was going to crash. There are people who stopped buying in 2015 because they thought it was going to crash. Think about that. So when you sit here like, I'm going to time the market, people who were in Austin trying to buy a house in 2020 when houses were 275, and now those same houses are $500,000. Stop trying to time the market. You will never be able to time it. Now, depending on your neighborhood, depending on your environment, you need to pay attention. I live in Austin and we're pouring every day. Businesses are coming in, families are moving in. The marketing of Texas is just so hard, right? People think, well, I just got to get to Texas. I'm going to start over. This is the same marketing that Atlanta had for many years. People are like, I'm gonna move to Atlanta and start over. Okay, you get there, now you realize you need some money to live here. You need some stuff. That's kind of what's going on in Texas. It's that 1990s freak neat, I'm gonna just move to Atlanta and start over mentality with people for Texas and Florida. I'm gonna just move to Florida and do what? And do what? So this whole thing, I'm a time to market. It's not gonna work. There are flippers and house buyers. If you go look at HGTV, when the real estate crash happened, they stopped for maybe 3 months, 6 months with the flipping shows. And then they came back with them because guess what they were doing? We got this foreclosure. We're fixing it. Or we got this property and we need to make an income basement. They just changed the model. Like you got to go read Gary Keller's book, Shift. All these real estate agents came in the market, came out. What happened last time, the reason we're so behind on inventory for various reasons, some of it's manufactured, but we had so many people who were in construction when the last crash happened. They were like, man, I'm gonna go do something else. You already know the math that so many of these men are in their late 50s and 60s in construction, farming, plumbing, welding. We have an age gap thing. I bought the handyman on the show and he was like, I was so shocked how many men don't know how to fix things. Don't be shocked. We women been telling you that, and y'all think we out here exaggerating on these poor men that they can't fix nothing. Nah, it's for real. You have a generational lap of people who can fix things. So now you got a small group of people trying to build. I think the country said they needed 25 million homes. It ain't gonna happen. We ain't gonna be able to do 25 million. Now we may get into the inventory a mil, 2 mil, 3 mil, but if you think houses are gonna go back down to 150, nah, no, no. We're gonna be more like when you go to Europe and houses real expensive. Like I think it's so funny when we talk about this at the price of homes here in America. If you actually go look at our neighbors in Canada, in Toronto, Vancouver, where they're basically banning any foreigners from investing, where do you think those foreigners are gonna go now? That's why I keep telling you, everybody's like, oh, it's going to crash this summer, Erica. I said, you got India opening up where they can leave and come to America. You got UK, you got Australia supposedly going to do it finally. All these people going to come here. Okay, they can't go to Canada and invest anymore. Mexico kind of be funny on the investing. Sometimes they be taking people's property if it's near a beach, eminent domain, and taking their property back. So where they going to go? They're going to go to America where they have what? Property rights. They can build their own thing. Or they can buy raw land. They can buy a farm. They can buy whatever. The math is there, y'all. Okay. So when people say, oh, I don't know if it's a good time, it depends. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? Congratulations, John John. Houston got Indians. They got Indian with a dot. They got Asians and they got a lot of Africans. Nigerians run deep in Houston. You got huge Vietnamese population. You got a huge Louisiana population. You got a huge what's that country? Korean population. Huge. Don't get it twisted. You'll be very interested. I never been there, but every single restaurant I've met is cool. You can feel like it's a terrible time all you want. There's gonna be depending on the marketplace. Each market is different. If you're in California right now, you may feel it's a terrible time to buy a house. If you're in Florida right now, it may be a terrible time to buy a house. If you're in Lake Minnetonka, Minnesota, maybe a great time to buy a house. Ain't nobody buying them. If you're in North Dakota right now, where everybody's leaving North Dakota and it's because the oil boom went away, great time to buy a house. If you're in Ohio, Like everybody left Detroit and took their money and put it in Columbus, Ohio, where it went up 9%. People are like, "Oh my God, Columbus, the prices are going up." Well, how much are the prices? I'm gonna pull it up on here just to be a smart ass. Oh, it's so expensive in Columbus. I'm gonna show y'all the prices in a little bit. So I'm just telling you, DC market is always moving. Always. There's a reason. We are bringing up the rear for real. Listen, Lizzie has say all DoorDash deliveries are immigrants with new 2022 condos. I'm telling you, I keep trying to tell y'all. SBA grants for businesses in low-income areas was literally 15K per business, whereas the stimmy checks for regular folks was a $600 check. Listen. People who had an actual business, I knew people who were like, "Well, I only got $60,000," and I was looking at them like, "Tell me when's another time somebody gives you $60,000." Thank you. When people tell me they're going to Africa and I'm going to do what? That's why when you see all these channels are like, "I'm going to Colombia so I can pay $150 rent and party with girls." Okay, cool. Like I salute you, brother. Like put yourself where you want to be. Anywhere's better than you coming online every day hollering about, "I don't want to get married." Okay, well, you're already out of the system. The system's not built for a bunch of single folks. The system, what you gonna notice, if you go look at Brazil, you really look at Brazil, they're like, "Oh, we don't have any racism here." That's their favorite thing to say. But there's no racism here. Everybody's equal. But if you look at the financial side of it, the whites are living here, and the phenotypically blacks are living here. Right? When Cuba sent doctors to Brazil because they were having the Zika outbreak, they sent a bunch of what? This color doctors to Brazil. And Brazil had the nerve to say, "They're sending us a bunch of maids." See, if you actually travel, you actually leave America and travel, people that look like this in other countries, they're reduced down to very terrible positions in life. Many times when Panama gave the option to many Panamanians, "Okay, hey, this is the United States, we're leaving. We're gonna give this Panama Canal back to Panama. We're gonna bounce. If you've been a Panamanian that's helped the United States government, you can come with us." Every Panamanian this color, and let me find another color. This color was like, "Please take me." Panama suffered from a 20-year brain drain because every black or dark-skinned Panamanian that was a doctor, a teacher, a lawyer was like, "I'd rather go to America and start over than stay here in this country and treat it like poop poop." Now, if you have some Panamanians, "No, no, no, Erica, no, we love each other. No, no racism in Panama. No, no, baby." Then why did everybody that was darker than a bag of paper run out the country with America when we were leaving? Like thousands of them. People were like, "I'll sign up for the United States military. Just get me out of here." You have to really be open your eyes that this imaginary dreamland, you think, "I'm going to go to another country and I'm going to be a king because you have an American dollar in your pocket." They got a show 90 Day Fiance that cracks me up. But two, they got one now where the black man is bringing this girl from Muslim country and he's pretending not to have no money. And when she get there, she like, even in her country, coming here and looking at a man with no money in one of the easiest countries in the whole world to make money, yeah, she looking at him crazy. Think about that. So no, this has been going on for years. This is why people were so mad at Bank of America, because Bank of America got exposed to showing that they gave out millions of dollars in credit cards to people with no socials. So that's why when people sit here and go, "Oh, the rich don't have credit cards," they don't. The rich don't have credit, don't have credit cards. What crack are you smoking? Because it's some good crack. That's right. A lot of these countries you cannot move without showing you have money in your account. Bali wanted to do a thing where you had to show you had money in your bank, and then Bali's tourism was like, "Please, no, shh, be quiet." They even said they don't want backpackers. They don't want you poor backpackers coming to their country. And people are like, "I can't believe Bali's saying such horrible things." It's their country. They have a right to say, "Don't bring your poor up here and be panhandling. Don't do it." Is listen, when I went to Yellowstone by myself, I was like walking around like this. And every time I see a black person, I'll be like, it was like specks in the dust. Was very few of us there, and it's not cheap. Listen, they did. They left. They left. See, John, know people go watch this stuff. Like I'm not making this up. You can pretty much Google document every fact that I'm saying on this channel. Somebody came and was like, "Oh, you're just making it up. You're making things up." I'm like, "Baby, no, I'm well read. Read for like 3, 4 hours a day, and literally tell you about it. You just aren't well read. You aren't reading these things. They're in newspapers. They're out here for you to read." Yep. What you said about certain people selling their property is why lackluster President Macron defeated the far right candidate Le Pen in today's French election. My bad if you already said that. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. You know what I mean? Like you have a country that's really leaning left. France would be a third world country, and they've said that themselves. You can go look this up. They've literally said they would be third world country if it wasn't for the African countries that are still what paying them for security and transition. Like you thought the way they did Haiti was bad, making them pay till 1970s. They got them African countries paying today. They've got troops, French troops in Haiti, in 6 countries in Africa. And the African country tell them they want to leave. They like, oh, I guess we have to take this president down. He's radical. Y'all, France is a bully. France is a bully. France has told people we would be a third world country if it wasn't for these countries that we are sitting on their backs right now. Hmm. Just took some cash out of my home. People need at least 620 to deal with you. I'm telling you, people think it's a joke. Debt free is really a naive concept in the United States because regardless of your debt level, you need income to live here. Thank you. Keep car locked away now. Do everything on my Harley fill up much cheaper. Yeah, there you go. I got 350K HELOC waiting on these distressed homes. Come on, do what you got to do. I have really wanted to do this, but there are so many people that do a really great job. Ricardo Roper. If I speak on stage at Jerome Montanalo's event later this year, I'll just market his product. He does a great job. Yes, Lizzie Hatch in general, I would say that, but closer to 250. If you go, it depends on what part of Texas. If you're in parts of Dallas, you still can get houses for 185. If you got to go outside of Dallas though. You got to go outside of the city of Dallas. You got to go out. Okay? Like out of Dallas. The inner city of Dallas. Same in Houston. Houston, you got to go out. Like I think we had by the hood on here, Corey, his wife and them bought 4 bedroom, half an acre, 3 baths house for 150 in Conroe, Texas. They're right outside of Houston. There are people buying them little mini mansions for 350 in parts of Houston. Exactly. That's why when people keep telling me, "Oh yeah, these houses gonna crash. Y'all can't wait for the market to crash. It's gonna crash." I'm like, "Do you hear them foreigners watching news every day waiting for it to crash? They gonna be here before any crash ever happened." In Austin, they just did a CNBC Money where the guy was like, "I bid 50K over on a house in the suburbs, 30 minutes outside Austin." You cannot time the market. Thank you, Broderick. Tell them. People really think this is a thing. Like I'm gonna wait. This is the same people who said they were going to wait last crash. Last crash, houses were going for houses that were 75,000 brand new built in Charlotte on the edges of Charlotte were going for 25,000 and people were like, "Oh, we going to wait." Wait for what? Wait for what? It ain't going to get no cheaper. I always talk about Asia. Asia's mom's house was to the right of her was another house. It had gone to foreclosure. It was going for $11,000. And her mom said, "Should I buy this?" And Asia's like, "No." Because she was scared, it's a crash. Tell me when you'll ever get a house for $11,000 again. You can't even get a house in Detroit right now for 11,000 without being a dumpster fire. This was a relatively new house, nothing wrong with it for 11,000, and now it's worth 200,000. Y'all got to understand the concept. You out here trying to time something that cannot be timed. Somebody else. There are hundreds of Swedens, Argentines. What's the other country that was in there? Brazilians. There were a bunch of it's Israelis. It was a couple other countries, but they were buying up all of Detroit. You'll actually look at documents to go buy a house from somebody in Detroit, and they'll be from a whole other country. Just a bunch of other country people. So this whole I'm a time the market, I just laugh when I hear this stuff. Ohio weather's great. I believe it is probably. That's why people I laugh and people like, oh no, no, there's no racism in this in the Latino. I'm like, stop. There is, but you can get around it, but there is. Zebo, here's the link in the chat. The link is in the chat. There you go. Very true. Thank you for supporting the channel. Very true. So many people who were shocked when they learned I ran air. Thought you were somebody made. Yeah, they thought you were somebody's maid because that's so common. It's not even funny. Mm-hmm. Mark D, you already know. Listen, it'll take a long time, but in certain cities, like in New York, it's so landlocked and built on top of each other. In Chicago, so landlocked, built on top of each other. Stuff like that. All right, y'all. Make sure y'all get these bots out of here. These bots out of here. Yeah, they've been extorting them. Been extorting them. Ooh, that's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. Zebo, I put it inside the chat. This is the thing, Christian. We're not getting distressed up. Like I want y'all to understand when you come to Texas, if you drive from Austin to San Marcos, and this is a people think, oh my God, I gotta get there. The water is so great because it's a little in between part between us and San Antonio. Actually, drive San Marcos and New Braunfels. The houses are built from 1930s. And they're not in good condition. A lot of them are in poor condition. College students live in them, party them in them, tear them up. And so when people say, "Oh man, these houses are so cheap down here," I'm like, "Well, you got to put 100 grand in to fix it. 70 grand, 80 grand to fix it. You know what I mean? Of course, some of this stuff is cheap. You're not getting true distressed properties on the market now. Are there 17 million vacant homes in America? For sure. Does it mean all of them are distressed? No, but there's a lot out there. Xanatos Clutch. Latin America is colorist. Not to brag, but a light skinned biracial black American with money can pass for a Latino if they speak Espanol, whereas darker skinned Americans would be nothing without. Yeah, I mean, we've seen countless stories of people going over there. My cousin went to Colombia and was like, oh, this is horrible. I was like, I could have told you that, bro. I could have told you that. If you don't speak Spanish, and even if you do speak Spanish, it can be rough. There you go, appliance. I mean, like, let's be really honest. Come on now. Venezuela, yeah. Stop. Them Door Dashers, yeah. No, this is the Calendly link if anybody's on that. Yes, not my quote, but time in the market is better than timing the market. Yeah. I mean, listen. If nothing else to prove the point of how crazy and how hard it is, this man's a multi-millionaire in America and he is bleaching his skin. He looked like Pepto-Bismol. He looks sick. He like he's got cancer to be in Dominican Republic. Bo, I would leave the DR and never come back. Leave the DR and never come back. I would never go back. Which one? Jerome Montanalo and also Andy buys houses. I did a video with them. If I go down to Florida this week, I will do another video on site in Tampa. Yeah, Texas, you can do just about anything. Listen, you can't tell these people nothing. Okay, so we're at an hour and 9 minutes. So let me read this and kind of wrap some of this up. Okay, again, why the rich don't work for money. Most parents belong to this system, so they won't pass it down to their kids. The traditional view of work in 20th century were strong growth, decades-long employment meant stability. Now pensions are rarely guaranteed, job security is at a loyal employer is rare, professional education success are no longer guarantees for security. So again, what happened when Donald Trump got in office? People were talking bad because he was hiring his kids for stuff. I go, that's nepotism. Look in Chicago, look everywhere. I went to college at ECU with kids who came back to Fayetteville, and they were having clients at a insurance broker. They're like, "Oh, you should come work for insurance for our dad." But then I thought about it. Your dad's giving you 100 clients. Nobody's giving me 100 clients. What are you talking about? You're coasting into it. All you had to do was finish the degree at East Carolina. Other people don't have that opportunity. So again, if nepotism and classism doesn't open your eyes when your child goes to their college years, they'll see it. They'll be like, "Damn, like this is terrible." So again, this article basically is fear of not having money makes people work hard. Once they get a paycheck, greed gets them to buy things they covet. But the joy is short lived. As they spend unwisely, they have money problems. The fear of not having money drives them back to work so they can get the what? The next paycheck. The cycle goes increasingly. Listen, it's called the rat race. How many people you know can't wait till Friday? Thank God it's Friday. Then they go on party, party, party. Or they can't wait to their week vacation and they're gonna go on vacation. I mean, it's a real thing, and if you ever like listen to some people talk about it, I think Ryan Scribbler was talking about how he was making 70,000 a year at this job, and he was so excited. It was such big money for a person fresh out of, and he didn't even go to college. He went to community college just to get this certificate. And the people at his job were making fun of him because he wasn't buying a truck and a boat. They live in Upper New York. I think they Upper New York. Somebody can check me for Ryan Scribbler's information. I can't remember, but it was like Upper New York, and it was like near some water. He was like, which is not very descriptive, but they were like, "Man, you ain't gonna buy a boat and a new pickup truck to tow your boat?" And he was like, "No, I just want to pay off this little bit of student loans I have and then invest my money." And what happened is people could not believe they were like coworkers laughing at him. Even in this space where I don't work like side by side, people are like, "Erica, why don't you buy a brand new car? Why don't you buy a brand new car, Erica? Why don't you buy a Porsche? Why don't you buy a G Wagon?" You'd be like, "Are y'all serious? That's what I would do if I had money. I'd buy a G Wagon." You'd be like, "What?" Like this insane thirst to buy stuff, it won't let them be free. So once he paid his debt, he realized, I don't have to work this job I don't really like because I paid off, and he only had like a little bit. I think he had like $10,000 or less, or 9,000 for the community college certificate and some other stuff. And his grandparents helped him pay some of that. Like he just got to go. He's like, okay, I paid off all my debt. My car's paid off. Took a lump of his money, of his paycheck. I think 50K at his first paycheck, first year, second year, and invested it into stocks, creating a YouTube channel, and was like, peace out, work. Peace out. See, that's what people don't understand, that they have choices. And if you really interact with some of these folks, they know. And that's where Dave Ramsey gets them, pulls them in. Their marriage is having problems. That they working hard. They mad with each other because they're both poor working. They're working poor. If the wife goes home to have a baby, then it's stressed out marriage. He mad, he cheating, he cutting up because he got to work harder. This is why all these women are aspiring to date a man with the next level income. But again, this ain't Bridgerton. This ain't no, classic. This ain't, Little Women from the old time movies. Assortative mating is 9 times out of 10, even if you're the most beautiful girl on the project, you're going to end up with a poor Pookie Ray Ray or a regular Jerome right about here. Now, let's say you go to college and you're at Harvard and you're all around each other. People are acting like it's insane that Sasha Obama and what's the other sister? Malia Obama. She's pretty. She's real pretty. Both of them pretty. One of them has a black boyfriend from a Harvard educated, and the other has a white boyfriend. And they're like, oh my God. They literally go to Ivy League schools. Even the black boy y'all saw the one younger daughter with, he's at an Ivy League school. Who are his parents for him to be there and to be dating a former president's daughter? Like, let's be real on the math here. This is where this goes. I don't care if you're Ricky Bobby and you make $1 million. Why do you think Cam Newton, who's an athlete making all this money, still is choosing bottom dirty foot stripper girls? Can't get to the next level of classism, even with the monies. Can't get up. Don't have no other talents outside of sports. Don't have no associations outside of sports. Come on now, y'all. There's no CEO going, boy, I want my daughter to marry Cam Newton, baby. I can't wait for her to marry Cam Newton. That's not happening. It's not. There's a NASCAR couple, and they're kind of ridiculous. But when you see her family, she was a cheerleader for she was gonna be a cheerleader for NFL and a model. So even this NASCAR knucklehead that you're laughing at, he's with the top percent of a black woman that was at a cheerleader model that's with a NASCAR famous person. Like even in that space of lower economics, which NASCAR makes a lot of money, people are talking this crazy talk. Eh, Again, it matters where you send your kids. It matters where you go to work. It matters. So anyway, what are assets? Again, I just want to go over this. Financial independence is having more money work for you, right? And so we got to kill this idea that the rich don't have credit. We got to kill it. Um, he's in the mix of strippers. That's where you're in the mix of. Let me go up here. Sorry, I'm gonna calm down. Uh, oh, it's heavy. It's crazy. Literally, one of the biggest stars, and even he, at the pressure, is bleaching himself. Everyone is rigging the game in favor for their family. Everyone does it. Facts. Mac Bone, I remember there's a quote. They say I get tired of telling black people to budget. There's it doesn't matter how much you budget 30,000. It's 30,000. like like if you're if 43% of black people have $30,000, no matter how much you tell them to budget, it's still 30,000. You literally have to make more income. There and here's my argument for this too. People go, well, everybody can't be business owners, Erica. Okay, I hear you. Everybody can't be a tech person. Okay. Everybody can't be a doctor. Okay. Everybody can't be a nurse. Okay. Everybody can't be. But why are you choosing to be in poverty? Why are you choosing to be lower? That's up here. You're mentally saying, I only deserve these low paying jobs, these low opportunities. All right. Again, uh, you may not think credit's important, but also partnership is a part of this. Again, the last boat parties, the last Classy Climb tour, people are partnering together and buying single family short term rentals away from me. Like they just came back and told me later, hey girl, we partner and bought some. I'm like, congratulations. Send me the Airbnb listing. I'll go see it. Hey girl, we partnered and bought a truck. Congratulations. Send me some pictures. I'd love to see it. Hey girl, we bought this. Great. Send it to me. It's up here. It's the mindset. It's the mindset. Gotta be smart about it. People making 1,000 a week and spend 400 a weekend are so funny. They do it. Anyone that want to practice Spanish 20 minutes a day, anyone welcome. Listen, there are, and this is again, you can make money just a million different ways. There are actually people who you can pay a translator, a Spanish speaking person, to speak Spanish with you for 30 minutes. There's all kind of gigs out here. People are paying for this. It's super. Listen, come on now. Come on, John John. John John said my wife is from DR and her family assumed I sold drugs because I look too young to own a home and a nice car. She showed me their Facebook messages. That's how much of a struggle it is in their country that just to own the basics of a car and a nice home, he must be selling drugs. Bobby Jones. I mean, it just is what it is. They run up out of here. They getting up out of here. You write about that housing codes in Texas. They be renting cribs with uneven floors, cracked steps, all of it. Think about it. Cam Newton over his career made $100 million, and you're telling me this man is dealing with bottom foot strippers off Instagram? Okay, $100 million. Oh boy, could be a billionaire. I mean, like Kobe Bryant told people he wanted to be remembered as an investor, and when he died, everybody talked about basketball, not the fact that he was an investor. Now this year, when it shows that they sold, what company is that? Kobe Bryant's, the shares they cashing out. It literally like 10x, if not 30x. The money he put in is like triple X. The old boy would have been a billionaire because they're young enough to do a second career in life. The mentality was there. It's unfortunate he died. There you go. Clifton Powell, the one Obama's daughter is dating. There you go. Because their parents are black. No. I mean, it's not even that tweet talk. I think there's sometimes people get to a level and they're not comfortable with being uncomfortable. Kobe Bryant was on CNBC article, and I would love listening to him speak because he was like, he did several. I mean, he did like 25 interviews in a 2 week window when he was investing. He was also like, I'm learning so much, I'm growing so much, it's very different. And somebody talked smack about sports players going bankrupt, and he was like, stop. And Kobe Bryant was like, because this happened, and they don't know what investments to invest in, and they still spend money at the same rate. So even then, Kobe Bryant was like, hey, wait a minute, you ain't gonna talk bad about basketball players and sports players. It's because we don't know what you know. And I'm gonna do a show talking about how OSU, they trying to save face since that coach left. Any player in the NLI can get 50K a year. And somebody made fun of it. They said SMU was paying kids more than in the 80s when they got smacked down. Now we realize, okay, we got to pay these kids. The coach is making millions. The school's making millions. The stadium making millions. Ticket holders, everybody's making millions. The boosters are putting millions in the program, and we can't pay these kids 50K a year cash in their pocket. Come on, man. Oh yeah, listen. Anywhere colonialism has touched down, it is crazy. Listen, come on now. The families of high-end neighborhoods, they schedule play dates, birthday parties only for the kids in that neighborhood. And this is first grade. This is facts. I would run in Texas. I've actually was asked to run in Texas, but it's gonna be different. Oh, for sure. They already setting it up for that. Because he's done. His body's done. He can't do football no more. I really feel like Cam Newton needs to go back and sue Von Miller for destroying his body. Because Cam Newton was a lightning in a bottle to that Colorado game where they were Denver Broncos where, it was staged and he lost to uh Peyton Manning who could barely feel his fingertips. Like, miss me with that. Peyton Manning was having loss of feeling in his fingers, but you trying to tell me he beat Cam Newton at the height of fit? Okay, sure, sure. Listen, I tell people all the time. The number one reason I'll get messages from people that say my cousin moved to Texas and they bought a house in a year. Oh my God, I'm gonna move to Texas too. Mindset. Come on now. Come on. The math is off. Thank you. There you go. You remember that, Arnold? Thank you. Okay, it's when he first started. Yeah, that body armor money. hmm So anyway, that's mostly what I have for you guys. There's 323 people here. I'm gonna wrap it up, but I just keep getting that in the comment section, and I kind of laugh when I see it. Like the rich don't care about credit like we care about credit. That's poor people care about credit, and I'm like, okay, babe. So anyway, what are assets? Let's just go over assets real quick and close this out. Businesses that don't require your presence. You own them, but they are managed by other people. If you have to work there for it to generate money, it becomes a job. Facts. Only to start a business if you have a desire for it. Odds are against you and the stress is high. You don't have to make money this way. Snap, snap, snaps. Stock, bonds, funds, and other securities. Kiyosaki once liked tax liens, which he claims return 18 to 16%. But since says their more attention has made them less profitable. In South Carolina a little bit, but not overall. Income generating real estate. Use debt to lever up on more houses. In other words, with 500K, you could buy one house for 500K and use it to make income, or you could put 100K down payments for 5 houses. You already know this. We've talked about this a billion times. Buying under market properties like foreclosures and reselling them quickly. Consider buying property that's larger than you need, then sell off a piece to somebody else. Notes, IOUs, Royalties from intellectual property such as music, scripts, patents, anything else of value, you already know. You already know, y'all. Get that book on your own. Say what you will about them. They know how to set up articles. They definitely know how to set up these articles for Robert Kiyosaki. Again, same thing here. Invest in your time where you learn. I'm willing to uh take a piece of my earnings on this new construction, spec construction. I'm willing to take a piece so I can get the one experience, two, get it under my belt, three, for more banks to go, oh, you've already done one. Here's some more money for another one. You know what I mean? You got to have it to do it. But again, the average U.S. worker clocks in 1,804 hours of work per year. Highest output in the world. Let's be very clear on that. 56% Americans report doing work from home. 20% report doing it every day of the week. 25% didn't take any time off last year, and 43% took less than a week off. Those numbers represent a 400% increase in productivity since 1960s. A lot of tired, time-constrained Americans are chasing the almighty dollar. And this is why we invest. This is why we invest. Again, this is why if you don't own a home, you don't own your car, right? I don't know how and where. Oh, look, I don't want to own stocks. Okay, I don't want to own crypto. I don't wanna, what do you want to do, baby? Because you got to keep working till you die if you don't have investments. This is legit. This is why Grant Cardone and all these people are building these capital companies, because people are like, well, I got 5K, I got 10K, I got 20K, I got 50K. They may not have the lump sum 100K at one time, but they got the other small parts, and they keep adding on to those things, and they get checks back every month. That's just the name of the game. So, did this make sense to y'all? I hope the SBA stuff was enlightening to you guys. I hope it made sense. I hope it helped. Um, hope it. Hope you got something out of it. You know what I'm saying? I know. Listen, listen. SMU about to pay money, money. SMU's run by Thank you. Listen, Christian Hutchinson. This is facts. This is facts. When I got that PPP loan for one of my business, they were like, "Hey, hi, do you need anything? Do you need anything else? Do you need anything else? Would you like a credit loan?" Like, I literally had a bank turn me down right before that pandemic PPP came out. Like, they turned me down hard. They were like, "No, this reason." I went to an outside vendor, a three-party website, filled out the PPP, got six figures, and the bank was like, "Hey, why didn't you come to us? Why didn't you do the PPP process through us?" I said, "Cause y'all was just rude to me not even a month ago for a freaking 25K loan. And now PPP done hit me with the six figures on more than one business. What are you talking about? Don't you look stupid?" Well, just come to us next time and we would love to work with you. That's why I started going to smaller banks. After that, I started going to all the smaller Texas banks I could find. And literally, Affiliate Bank and Sister Bank were like, hey, Miss Williams, you're just calling again to see if you need anything. We're just calling to see what you need. I started my development company before I even hit dirt anywhere in Texas. I had a major development company calling me. Why? Just seeing if you need partnership. Just seeing if you're out here. What they thought is I was about to have some government contract. That's what they think, because of the name of the company. And they were like, "Hey, we're just checking with you, development companies in the area. We see you're a small woman-owned, minority-owned business. Seeing what you need. We're a big development company. We do apartments and everything. You need anything?" That's why I be telling y'all when I'm in class and I break it down to you how y'all need to document your business, Google Places your business, get the phone number for your business, get that business bank account. When I outlay it for you, there's a reason. They gonna call you. They gonna call you. You ain't gotta chase them. They gonna call you. Because not many people do what? Their paperwork, have a location, a business office location, a phone number, a website. Just letting you know. Thanks. That's facts. You can do that. Yep. They're legit, man. So anyway, just want to get that done with you guys. All right, we've been on here hour 30 minutes. Thank you so much for being here. Again, boat party tickets. You already know what's up. Grab you the boat party tickets. Grab you this week. We're teaching audiobooks, how to how to get a ghostwriter to write your book, how to get a speaker to speak over it, all out of pocket, almost no money in some parts of this process, and put it on 6 different platforms so you can get paid 6 times a month. So you can get paid 72 times a year. That's on Wednesday live training. Use the code Easter for $200 off the digital real estate course. Come into live training on Wednesday. Don't miss it. You're going to love it. Peace out. Keep a good night, y'all.